Now, regular listeners will remember that back in November we heard about the Lords Science and Technology Committee inquiry into forensic science in England and Wales. Recent high-profile miscarriages of justice have highlighted the importance of scientific evidence in legal cases. But at that first hearing, one witness, eminent forensic scientist Professor Angela Gallop, had a pretty damning assessment of the current state of the service.
We believe that forensic science isn't working for anybody. It's not working for the police, it's not working for forensic scientists, it's not working for lawyers, and ultimately it's not working for the general public.
Among the concerns, the shortage of providers, the availability of forensic science services to defendants in legal cases, and worries about which samples were being taken and kept. Well, this week the committee heard from the Home Office Minister Sarah Jones, who had her own assessment of the problems with the Forensic Science Service.
The thing that I think I found most shocking as a new minister in this space is the lack of real understanding of what's actually going on across the country on forensics. We don't actually know how much money is spent. We don't actually know how many delays there are. We don't actually know the balance between the private sector and the in-house.
Several of the witnesses to the inquiry had expressed concerns about the way the market in forensic science works, with fewer companies providing services than in the past. Sarah Jones argued that as well as in-house services, private companies were needed.
We need the private sector to get us to the next stage of forensics. So, for example, roadside toxicology, we could transform a lot of what we do if we had the right kit to do roadside toxicology, which we don't at the moment. If you look at deep fakes and the emergence of deep fakes, we need the private sector to give us the solutions there to help us identify what's a deep fake and what isn't. So I think we need the private sector.
A Labour peer, Lord Drayson, wanted to understand what the minister thought about the shrinking number of companies providing forensic services.
Am I right in saying that your view is that the current situation with a single provider with 80% market share is unacceptable?
I think it's very challenging.
But is it acceptable, Minister?
Unacceptable. I mean, the system is functioning at the moment.
Do you believe that the quality of service?
But I don't think it's ideal. No, and that is right. In part it is the problem with the market that is in part driving our desire to introduce reform, for sure.
A Lib Dem, Lady Northover, had another concern.
The forensic scientists may be brilliant, but they're being commissioned by the police to do certain things. And there's obviously a lot of pressure on the Home Office and on the police to have successful prosecutions, as it were, to bring people to justice. Don't you think that whole system has risks within it?
There's always risks within any system, and you need to make sure you navigate your way through that through regulation and through the kind of setup that you design.
The independent peer who chairs the committee, Lord Mayor, summed up.
We have had reports of this whole process being something of a postcode lottery, in that there's a different standard of forensic science provision within the 43 police forces. What's your comment on that?
It's a postcode lottery in lots of different ways across policing.
The government is due to publish its blueprint for police reform in England and Wales shortly, and Sarah Jones said that offered the opportunity for once-in-a-generation change.
There are pockets of absolute brilliance, and then there are pockets that won't be operating in the same way as we would expect, and that is a huge problem we are trying to fix across policing as a whole through this reform programme.
The Home Office Minister, Sarah Jones. And that's it from us for now. I'm Alicia McCarthy. The studio manager was Andrew Mills. The editor was Sean Curran. And that was the Today in Parliament podcast. Thanks for listening, and you can hear plenty more on BBC Sounds.